Broadcast live.
This episode of Catching Waves is brought to you in association with the people of Miller Genuine Draft. Please enjoy responsibly. Not for sale to the persons under the age of 18.
Sharpnot.
Hey Tada.
Right?
Grand man kuwe.
Safe butwa man. Masingena emxhelweni man.
Yeah.
Singalibazisi. Uyindoda ematasatasa kwezinsuku. Kudala wabanjalo phofu. Laduma eliphupha lokwenza impahla kwenqanaba ukulo ngoku as uMaxhosa, an internationally renowned brand. Kuwe yaqala nini lonto leyo?
Into wenza impahla yaqala ngo 2001.
Njani?
Ngisafunda 6 ngoko. I think I was about 15 or 14.
That's grade 8 for you new kids out there.
Yeah, and the old lady just signed me up to a new school, ekuthiwa Losim Brown. And it just happened that Losim Brown offered art subjects.
Yeah.
Losim Brown wasn't my first choice though, because Nantandi Alex Skakool, because I could see that they have art subjects that were premium. But I didn't underestimate Indobana. I'm in an art school and it was going to offer me more. Endlini, at that time already we used to do beadwork, crochet, hand knitting, a lot of craft stuff that the old lady used to make and sell to Ngxokolo shops in PE. But we could see that that type of business was quite slow. Yeah, because locals were not interested in those type of artifacts. Kufuneka explain uzithengise ibone to for a person to buy into it, and then abanye babe ne perspective inobana homemade. Some of the products that were successful at that time that I used to help mama with was yayikhona enye hat engathi bukofia.
Yeah.
It was popular with stone at that time. It was
Yeah.
Yabo.
I'm a Muslim states have a wrong when I tell you.
Yeah. That was popular. I don't know if you remember that era. Gela Klesha Castle Loud was popular.
Definitely.
Tim Sengana used to come to PE. People were rocking that, and it's as Inita from here.
Unatinkai right now.
Unatinkai. Yeah. And I used to help old lady with crocheting that, and he ends fast. Yeah, hey, I've got a great ability. Now we beadwork, since he beadwork me so I come that vibe. Plus, in his time, I used to make his time from beginning to the end. Yeah, because okay, the perfectionist and the patient. Uthina yena wayithanda umthungu sikakhulu. Lihle nobheza beba ngabantwana bona standard. So there was this time the old lady went to see me at school. I think she just got while collector imali support from a Lockhart at that time. Kukho ibudget anyana to buy TV. Ekhaya sikhule ngikho TV at all.
Wow.
Completely. Because we couldn't afford it. Simply we couldn't afford it. Especially a color, yayibakho nje black and white, lekhona phinde disappearish yabo, and it already never hesitated. If we didn't have bus fare, I'll touch the TV, if I cash converters or sell it, because school was first priority. But zazikhona magazines, Reader's Digest, plus ne Vogue magazines and other magazines ezithenga ku second hand store.
She's crazy.
Just for inspiration, wayazifunda. And then there were 1 or 2 anthropology books. So for beadwork, wayithatha incwadi yesiXhosa anthropology. Asifundele yona as bedtime story, and join the inspiration in beadwork as well, new designs. So that design lifestyle was there already. The Salvation Army was right down the road from where Losim Brown.
Yeah, they come
close to Slikour. Sikhule sinxiba Jewish as a Salvation Army team, but you lady lali cherry picker, the 100% wool, the genuine leather shoes, as educated by wool and cotton. So at that time I already knew, but okay, levels yabo zithini in terms of offering. And then i-pressure yayisithi bana masithenge u-Levi's 501, let me get a Nike t-shirt ebhalwe uyabona. That was what I wanted, especially for a service day. I just got into high school, so service day was coming through. Kwakusiza enye event kuthiwa i-Stair Week. Stair Week is when the students come through, they would bash the whole night until 6 a.m. So that day I specifically wanted to wear Levi's 501. That was standard. And Lakati was that is what we wanted.
Sure.
Plus, kwakukhona isiskipa esimnyama popular sasine Paul Nike, Paul Air bag. That was what I envisioned wearing it for a Stair Week. So sehla nakuliti. End up in Salvation Army, nama out time, but mama getting a TV and ngizawuthenga inkulu. Le kumla izakudala zazineplanga.
Showcase, they won.
That's
and the dial on the side.
The dial, yeah. Not as
chichwa.
Yabo.
Yeah.
So xa sifika phayana, hey ayisport le TV ba nansi yabo. Xa isiya kwi-counter athi uthi hey nakumachini. Hey ndimbuze mama, why ujonge lo mchini? Athi no, umchini lo wenza i-cheese. Nge-80s nonsense i-cheese yabo. I want to buy lo mchini because i-value yayo is much more than the TV le. Nona ke ngoku hey izoshuka ngoku. I-old ngumuntu enandithanda uarguisha naye. I was that type of child mna ebuza yonke into why and how, why and how. She was responsive nayo andixelele ba this is why yabo. But sometimes andimfumene ngexesha erongo mbama uyathanda ubuza izinto okanye uyathanda uchallenge authority yami as umzali yabo. Of course that was wrong, but when I look back as umntana, being inquisitive is very important. That's how you learn yabo. So I asked her lo mchini why explain about I used to have it but ndachata and I ekhaya ushiye ekhaya new bride. My young sister, my old sister and old brother sold it because they didn't see value in it. So wathi bana ufuna ubuyisa uzokwenza ijezi nezikhafu indlala izawuphela yabo. Wathi uzawuthengisela lamajita khayo yabo, izikhafu neminqwazi yabo, because those guys are always at budget. I was like, sawubona endlini because yayazi xa kufika kwethu siphethe liwi uzawukhala unyembezi because ulindelwe i-TV. Wayithenga lo mchini yabo. Fika endlini, hey mara xa sifika endlini fumanisa uba hey lo mchini onita une-pieces ezininzi, very mechanical. Ndamcela umama uba ndicela uassemblisha ngokwami yabo because I'm interested uba what is it gonna do le nto ibhetere kune-TV. We assembled together manually. And then she knitted the first piece. I was like, wow, this is magic. This is like way better than upunga. But I want to explore it. Yabo. First project was mama ngicela designer ijezi that I'm gonna wear for service day. But ingajambisi by homemade. It's okay. It's possible to achieve low quality. Yabo. The weekend sayo thenga iwool designer of kuqala yabo nge-crayons. It was ijezi crewneck enengalo ezipheleleyo in 4 different shades. It was a light blue, a dark blue, mid blue, a light blue again. So nandiyiplanile ba okay vibe ine-ribs yabo. Ngesa sikhathi kwakuxhapha ke i-fashion ye-polo neck ethenga ne, and then mlathi jean ethenga plus namaqoza angaka.
Remember those days.
Ndandifuna la effect ne, but ibe different of course. Like designer sayothenga wool and we got all the colors. Came back home wathi uzayinita ngokwakho ke yonke, uzoyithunga ngokwakho. At that time there wasn't a sewing machine at home. It had to be sewn by hand, so it meant that I had to stitch yonke. Ndayinita ndayistitcha ngokwami yabo. And she showed me the stitching process, about to shape noyiphettina the nice shape but yaphuma inde kakhulu yabo ayidopola yahlala grand daya ku-service day phethe ijaketi 501 I managed to
Standard.
win. I managed to win that day 501 ne-All-Star. Saya ku-service day drive ku-service day akubetha 1 ekuseni qapheka naqonda okay yabona this is not a good situation because wafuneka ngihlale le the whole night.
Damn.
And remember yonke lonto is secret yabo because no one has to know that ndiyanita and I'm a guy. Because it's not masculine into enita. Only my best friend knew. Ndamxelela yena say yakuna la cheese yam ayinita wamajonga uthi yam ndayibona la cheese yakho. Ndaqona ndifuna something design lewe yentswimbu and that guy became my customer. Dimenzele yabona different variations. Mistress wam Mrs. McGrath, who was my high school teacher, admired me a lot. In fact, she realized that one day I couldn't afford to paint. One nigga free paint brushes and used to take me out to outings, the SRC. It was a Christian Student Association, just to get that mood of Yasekaya out of my mind, because she could see that we were affected by a situation year two of growing up in a childhood at home. And principal weight, we had briefed the whole school that these are children that are raising themselves. And Gela Klesha, grade 8, I had to be the one. Court to verify me as a person that can collect the money. Plus it's a for maintenance. So when I was in grade 9, I had to go to court to stand against my father. So this that distracted me from school until that deteriorated performance with maths, English, and other subjects, except the art. The art, I still stayed number 1, now with music. To a point where metric, I got the lowest grade in maths in the school, but with art, I got the highest grades. That's how I managed to pull through. And then after that, if funds are of studying, there's no one that is there that's willing to sacrifice. No tata wait as well, Profox, and he wasn't that willing, because he comes from each generation, and in fact from a family too. No one has a degree. No one has people generation year two of Sisakula, Ubene metric. We had 2 cases of our cousins that failed metric as well, so there wasn't really high expectations, I must say, from the father side. And then I took a gap year, 6 months. After a gap year, 2 months, I realized that I need to do something because I'm and then Ngxokolo, and then Tina assigned me to an internship in Chomiake since I posted. After a month in that internship, I was like, wow, this is not what I envisioned. Like my dreams are too big for this. And then I enrolled at PE college, got my father to pay for a deposit, and he did. After 2 months at PE college, I was like, no, I want to lay education standards higher. Is super low because I studied all these days at high school.
Yep.
You understand? And Namajita that I was studying with, I knew that some of them came across as if abako serious. They didn't know much about the industry. They were just sent there to get an alternative career. And then I applied for a loan, NMMU. I applied for e-enrollment as well, the total course. And then one thing that I told myself is that when I get into the university, I'm gonna make sure that I exploit each and every opportunity that I had and achieve maximum. Then you go look at that time. And all my peers, even anyone else so I wasn't really integrated with society. All I had to spend time on was the art. just to make sure. Navalelisa AAP college, I got the highest grades in my class because I wanted to make sure that they for money loan and the enrollment opportunity. Langena pha ndilikrwala NMMU, I think I was about 20 years old. Komgqibelo ngecawa ngeChristmas I was there. Trying to make sure that I have to phuma elokishini psychologically. Phuma elokishini. Like the best medicine was not being there. Uyabona? Xa ndigodukayo endlini bendigoduka ngo-2 ekuseni ndivuke ngo-6 just to make sure that I am not influenced by izinto ezenzekayo, because as you know xa uselokishini someone will call you up and say masokwenza lethile whatever just because the vibe iyavuma you'll be part of that. And I could see xa ndibuye eyunivesithi amajita amanintsi stake fan 15-10 baqhonyiwe bonke bona. And ndandingachazeki yilo scenario and thought that shit.
You deserve better.
I deserve better. And in fact, the home that I come from and sleep at, those people that are there need to get out of here because their lives are vulnerable now. Because trend and people knew that akumntu mdala ekhaya yabo.
Did you already know engqondweni yakho ba one day I'll have a fashion house, or you were just going day by day trying to make ends meet?
To be honest, I was trying to go day by day. I thought one day I'm gonna establish a credible textile mill.
Sure.
A one-stop shop where people can come and say, I'm a fashion designer. I'm struggling with it, DNA. I wanna get your advice on how to design fabric properly and advise me which fabrics and what to do and what not. That's the thought that I had in mind. Hence, I chose textile design.
So when did Maxhosa, when was the conception and the inception of Maxhosa? Even you didn't give birth to it yet, but when did it go to you? Wait, hold on. I might be more than just someone, a fashion whatever comes and refers to and asks for advice. I might have to do this. When did that baby start developing inside you?
The idea of focusing with knitwear, but luxe knitwear came about since the second year. Of course, I had to decide which direction am I taking now. Then intro, NMMU, I did everything: photography, sculpture, graphic design. We were a class of about 200 people. What do you want to ultimately do, or which subject you want to choose next year? Babu textiles, the pagamise and the. And then when they look around, 199 people, hands down, they're not interested. They want to be graphic designers, photographers. And then Napa performed high grades, but I realized that I'm good at it because I used to do t-shirts, and the t-shirts is biology chapters at buy because I was doing skin printing since high school. With fashion, the timing was so perfect when I did my second year. It just happened that fashion and textiles is a fusel together. So whoever was doing textile had to do fashion. Whoever was doing fashion had to do textiles. So my knowledge just became so good that with fabrics that I was creating in the textile department, I used to cross over to the sewing machines. But in the fashion department, that this guy is so good and so precise. Like the textile is good and the sewing is good. There was a lady called Lynette Elipulukas. She used to do patterns, worked for the school for decades. She's the one, that was like, your pattern game is on another level. I used to teach new students as well. Students they are coming to me. I'm the fellow students, but I'm checking their patterns before they go to the teacher. But you're right, I used to get the worst cases. I don't want to lie. But I could see ultimately that with the other students, passion wasn't there. That's where passion for me, fashion came about. And thought, I think I might establish a fashion house which is great in the African arena, but I don't know which direction I'm gonna take.
How do you feel about people then and now who are quick to talk about price points when they don't subject European labels to these restrictions? How do you feel about it, and what do you tell yourself?
I easily think abantu that undervalue my pricing, you know, are backwards, like base stuck mentality in the culture yethu cannot be reflected in a certain price. I guess londo le emotion as standards zethu yabo. When you go out and buy a dashida, was like you're gonna accept the quality that is dishes it has hanging threads, the material, the shitty. Nati as consumers are to be blamed, you know, because we don't pressure people to take the standards high, you know. Now, I wanted to take the standards high in terms of material and make sure I use the wool, the mohair, you know, which are curable fibers, which are premium fibers. I wanted to make sure that the finishing is at par so that the piece for 20 years and beyond. You know?
Sure.
Because in Kule no tamkhulu wami engumntu othengisa insango nge-50s. Ngothengisa insango nge-50s wayenemali. And they bought the finest, the YSL. Unegani, uqhuba i-Cadillac. He had the finest clothes. Wayesibonisa nge-late 90s by etc. I've had this for. Dayithenga ngo-1950 and you're like, wow. And then you look at the clothes as bonagala around. It's an easy decider that I want to make premium things that will outlive us.
What took me aback, having bought the first jerseys from you more than 8 some odd years ago, close to 7 years ago, then you moving to Joburg, and then you buying a factory. I remember the day when you said to me, you know, I want a G-Wagon, but I don't know. I'm thinking about it. Then the next day or a week later, you said, fuck the G-Wagon. I'm buying a factory. How did this feel for you? How did this make you feel? Like, talk to us about that, the liver and the goal to say, you know, I want a factory and I'm going to get it.
I think for me, philosophy is the old lady of my late mother always play a role in the decisions that I make, of understanding your worth, because that case has occurred before in the past.
Yeah.
A few times. Like, for instance, when I graduated, I got approached by a Jewish guy, 2 of them, Cape Town, East London, and
yes.
3 of them, matter of fact. One offered me a job, East London. I said, nah. And they said, hey, we will pay you properly. Like, you will be the head of menswear of this brand. Yeah, Makam. I was like, nah, I'm good. Came to Joburg, sat with a huge family of Jewish dudes, and they said, yo, move here now. By the time you land, you will have a flat and a car. We'll buy them for you. Here's a blank check. Write down what your salary you want to be a month. Remember, I'm young then. I'm 23. And all I could imagine was Vrpa and the yellow tie next to me. So
you got the yellow tie. You got the yellow tie next to you, but the Vrpa.
I had to think about my family, you know? I had to think about the distractions that I would come and encounter here in Joburg. I had to think about it a lot, but above all, I had to think about selling culture, because to me, it simply felt like something that would have been like that. Cape Town, same case, I had the same thoughts, you know? And these guys were straight up saying, yo, we'll take 80%, you take 20%. I was like, nah, as a logical person, you know, nah, this doesn't add up, same with the factory as well, you know, like the resources were starting to come in. And the resources to live lavish are there. You understand? Because I'm in a city now which is booming and the best cities for black entrepreneurs in the world. The opportunity of buying a factory was just there. So I had to make a decision on should I take this direction or should I not? But I realized that, it won't be beneficial for me, taking a factory. It'll be beneficial for my family. It'll be beneficial for the people that are already in a factory, because the mission was to go into it and restore dignity yabo and nyosela abantu abathile and upscale them and start a trend of, there's a new saying, Tibana, giving back is the new luxury.
Yeah.
I like to take it to the top and say that paying people their worth is the new luxury.
True that.
Because what you find in these days with a lot of luxury brands and a lot of business people in general is that they are black owned, but once you look in, the employees are not paid well. And in most cases, with businesses, the companies look great. They are making high numbers. People are being paid peanuts. Yabo. I want to build that story that says that, like a lot of luxury brands, we're going to price things high. We're going to make them ourselves, but we're going to put a high margin so that we can have enough resources to market, enough resources to sustain our business, because if business is needs, a lot of success cases that I studied from the past, businesses failed. I didn't want to fail. And he attributes his needs of failure in terms of sale was the product didn't get here on time. The product wasn't at the quality specs that I wanted. The product, the designs were just being stolen and modified within the factory. I was sick and tired of those challenges, and I thought, let me just take a risk, and put all the aspirations, the young and dumb aspirations aside. Those can come later. Everyone dreams of living in a certain way, but timing is everything.
Another thing that I loved that you talked about was restoring. When you got the factory, it was for your family, it was for your mother's dream, your vision, and also restoring the dignity of the people that work in these areas, because you find that most of the time they're not rewarded properly. Can you speak about the horror that you found out when taking over the plant in regards to abasebenzi?
The horror yokuthatha abasebenzi, of course, is something that will always be there. But if you turn it into a positive, a lot of things change. So number one, I have 3 siblings into the company. I've got 2 friends from PE that are qualified, that are brought into the team. And then I have Abanbe retail, and I have the production people. So before I started that journey, I was that guy as an entrepreneur. I want to do everything myself because I want everything to be done to perfection. I had to let go of a lot of things because having a 30, one specializes in sales, one specializes in production management, one specializes in bookkeeping, I had to take hands off, but I had to make sure that I am vigilant. I stay woke all the time, because things do happen. But above all, I had to make sure that I build a family close-knit. When I walk in, bakhona mama that have been working for the factory for 20 years, about 25, about 30 years. Kumama, andimbizi. Nabo bandibiza booty. Some of them call me boss, but I tell them, please don't call me boss, because I don't want to have that relationship with you. Zonke challenges that were anticipated, what are things that we prepared for. Nice. From HR to, as young as we are, to policy, when we age and get to the 50s and 60s, we had to make sure that we get Old Mutual to be involved and make sure that we secure our future so that it feels like work. It feels like proper work. But each stage which I am building towards ultimately is that policy in the the women, the people that make the products, they must be able to afford them. The employees must be able to afford cars. And a few of my employees have already started buying cars. Londo yabonagala, it's showing off in progress.
Nice one, my brother.
No mama, sometimes you use them to fit the clothes. And then like, I want this, I want to place an order. I take your staff price.
You've actually started using them in your runway shows?
We haven't yet,
Okay.
but I'm definitely gonna do that because what became interesting within the plant is that it diversity koyo. Although people psychologically think that Maxhosa is a brand for Xhosa people, in the company there's the siblings, there's Xhosa people only. They don't know that it's Namatswana, it's Namapeti, it's Namaswati, Namavenda.
And even your supporters on the gram, they from various different cultures and corners of the world.
Traveling is not something that I do much these days, you know. What I do is I let my team travel. Unsika, my right hand, is when I go to China, 4 different cities in China to go and do studies, you know, on what's out there, you know, and go on a training. My 2 sisters were in Paris to represent the company. Like, what I'm interested in more now is to let abantu that are in my spaces to do the traveling and not be that guy kanthetha kuthiwa akaloku wena utravelishile.
Sure.
Uyabo?
Sure.
Manje hayi wena ufunde kakhulu, ubona. So I want to be in the same wavelength as my team. Sicinge in a radical way. Sonke.
Mnumzana Laduma, Mr. Ngxokolo, sihambe sahamba sama apho.
Yeah.
Kuchiwo. Pha eXhandini yayazi nawe loo nto leyo. Grootman, great inspiration. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Appreciate it.
I know that it's not just the people that are watching this that have learned, like sihleli nje apha, and everybody who's shooting. We've picked up so many things from you. You're a shining example. I admire you. I idolize you. I'm a huge fan, and I am grateful that I've ever come across a human being like you in Bilwenyam. And I pray to our ancestors, Nokamata, that the relationship will strengthen from time to time. Enkosi kakhulu mfethu. Dithi makwande. Amako.
This episode of Catching Waves is brought to you in association with the people of Miller Genuine Draft. Please enjoy responsibly. Not for sale to the persons under the age of 18.
Broadcast live